Hello and welcome to Me and My Golf. We're your coaches Piers and Andy, and this is Break 100.
Breaking 100 can be very difficult, but we're here to show you that it can be easy with the right plan. There are so many different reasons that could be holding you back, and we see them all in our 20 years of coaching. Break 100 is a 6-week plan that guides you week by week through a carefully designed program to improve your whole game. If you're a beginner or a weekend warrior looking to break 100, then this plan is perfect for you and has everything you need. Don't wait to break 100, make it happen today.
This is week 1. The rest of the plan you're going to find over at meandmygolf.com. So let's get you started on your journey to breaking 100. So here is your plan for the week. Now, each week we're going to give you a plan to follow, and if you stick with this plan, it's going to make things a lot easier. Now, first week, we want you to hopefully get to the driving range twice for 2 practice sessions, and we want you to hit 50 golf balls each time. The main focus is really going to be on quality of practice as opposed to quantity. There's no point really in getting there, Piers, and hitting just 100 golf balls. So we're going to go 50 golf balls each time with quality practice. We'd also like you to actually get to the golf course and play, whether it only be 9 holes or 18, because we're going to give you some tips and things to work on the golf course. But first of all, we're going to get stuck in to actually what you need to do on the driving range. So the first thing we'd like you to actually work on is your setup basics. Now, there's a few key things that we really want you to practice that's going to make a huge difference from now and the rest of your golfing career, really. And this is something that myself and you, Piers, continuously work on, even now, each time we go to the range. And we're talking really about posture and how we stand to the golf ball, aren't we?
Yeah, getting that balance, Andy. I think if you can swing in balance, it's going to help you with your ball striking, it's going to help you with your direction. And it's really, a lot of people get in a bit of a pickle when they're doing this. And the good news is you can practice this without hitting golf shots. And that's exactly how we're going to do this right now.
Okay.
So the first thing we will say, the first thing you need to do when you go to the driving range is place an alignment tool on the ground to help you with your target line. So we've got an alignment stick on the ground there. You can use a golf club. We just need to point it at the target line. You'll be hitting golf balls just to the side of that. Now, I actually have another alignment stick here, which is well worth getting hold of a couple of these. So with this one, I'm going to place it on the ground parallel to that target line. Now, I'm going to use this to tell me where my balance is in my feet. So I'm actually going to stand on this with the stick going right through the middle of my feet, and I can actually tell if I go past it onto my toes or my heels. It's a really nice reference point, isn't it, Andy?
Yeah, definitely.
Now from here, what we're going to get you to do is stand tall, and we're going to get you to hinge forward from your hips somewhat. You'll notice my back, I'm keeping it pretty neutral. I'm not rounding it, I'm not arching it, so it's pretty neutral. And then from there I soften my legs, so a little bit of flex in the legs. Now what we're looking to do is maintain that weight through the middle of the feet when I do this. From there I let my arms hang naturally, and then I just place the club in my hands like so. This is pretty much where you need to be. Some people may flex their legs a little bit more or a little bit less, or bend forward a bit more or a little bit less, but the main thing is arms hanging naturally and then getting the alignment stick through the middle of the feet so you have that pressure through the middle.
Definitely, and I think a really key thing, I mean, this is so overlooked by a lot of golfers. If we can have 50% of the weight behind the alignment stick, 50% of the weight in front of the alignment stick, you're in a position where you're balanced. And as Piers demonstrates there, the arms are very much hanging down. And from here, your consistency of strike and how you move is going to be so much better, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And look, you can obviously go wrong with this, and this is why it's very important to check this with a mirror or a video camera. Even a friend can help you with this. We prefer the mirror and the video camera, but you could be maybe too far away reaching for it. You could have the weight very much on your heels. You know, you can have the weight very much on your toes. You can be very straight-legged and bent forward. There's lots of different variables. Main thing, arms hanging naturally, and then stay with the weight in the middle of the feet.
Definitely. It's one thing you notice when you watch the best players in the world, they stand to the golf ball in a great posture. So if you can start to look at that and get some references from that and see yours, you're going to find it a lot easier to do. So that's the setup, Piers, the posture, really, really important. That's before we even start hitting golf balls, we've got to get ourselves in a good position. Now, we're going to really talk about the concept now, because that really is important to understand for the rest of the series.
Concept of the swing, absolutely.
So before we get into the training, it's really important that you understand exactly what we're looking to achieve and looking to do and how we swing the golf club. And I think this is one thing, Piers, that it almost causes a bit of a roadblock for golfers because they have the wrong concept in their mind, so they're not able to actually produce the correct movement that they're trying to do.
Yes.
So what we're going to do really is just explain what we're looking to do in terms of how we're looking to swing the golf club, aren't we, really?
Yeah, I think, look, so the common misconception that we get with not just golfers who are trying to break 100, but with a lot of golfers, is that they should take the club back in a straight line. And that kind of makes sense that you should maybe do that when you first start playing maybe, but taking the club back in a straight line looks like this. And if you look how this goes back, Andy, there's no way you'd want to swing like this on the way back and on the way through, keeping it straight like that. That really isn't going to work, because the big thing we have in golf is the golf ball is to the side of us. If the golf ball was under us, that works, but the golf ball is to the side of us. So what actually happens when we're swinging is that the club will move away from the target line as it goes up on an arc around the body. Now when I'm doing this, you'll also notice, if I come back down again, you'll also notice that the club face opens, rotates, opens as we do so. And then as we swing down, hopefully we come back down on a similar arc with the club face rotating back or closing back to impact, hopefully with a square face. And then from there, we continue to rotate and move in from that target line, closing the face as we go through the hitting area.
Really important to understand, look, the club face is not looking down the target, it is very much rotating and closing and actually pointing this way. And just understanding that concept, Piers, is so important. If we can get this swing arc and club face in mind, it is massively going to help you produce a more consistent movement and more consistent shots, isn't it, Piers?
Indeed, it is, yes.
Let's get into your practice then, and what we're really going to spend the most time on during week one is really focusing on what's going to happen on the bottom part of the golf swing, Piers.
Yes.
Really controlling and understanding how the club face should move through impact and training a good swing arc. If we can get these two things right, we are going to hit the golf ball pretty consistent and hopefully pretty straight as well, because if we can hit it pretty straight, it's going to be a lot easier.
Yeah, look, if you can be good through that area there and you can focus on that area there, it's definitely going to help you improve a lot quicker. We see all sorts of things go wrong through the hitting area, and that's often because the swing is, we have the longer swing.
Okay, so what are we going to train, Piers? Let's go through some checkpoints for the guys at home that they can really work on and take to the range.
So we're going to do the checkpoint for the arc and a checkpoint for the club face position. So take my beautiful athletic posture and setup. So what we're looking for is when the club shaft gets parallel to the ground, that we want the shaft parallel to your target line. That tells you're on a good arc. If it's this side or this side, it means you're off that arc that we ideally want. Now from there, what we want to look at is the club face position. You'll notice the leading edge of the golf club is going up there parallel to my spine angle. That means that the club face is in a neutral position, a square position. If I do that, it's too open. If it's pointing down at the ground there, it's too closed. So if we can train this position, it's going to really help you. And then from there, as you swing through the hitting area, when the club shaft gets parallel to the ground on the way through, to stay on arc, we want it parallel to the target line. That tells you're on arc. Obviously we could be out there. This is a very common one. This is where we want you, parallel to the target line. And you'll also notice the club, the toe of the club is pointing straight up. This is actually a little bit more closed than it would be open on the way back. So we have a position here. On the way through, we actually close a little bit more than we open on the backswing in order to get to that position. This is definitely going to help you not lose the ball out to the right, which is a very common shot.
So we're really going to train that motion. We're going to get you to hit some shots where we swing back to here, obviously do some practice swings as well, and really train an efficient arc and club face. And what we're going to focus on doing is we're going to have blocks of 5 golf balls. We're going to hit 40 golf balls with your iron, but in blocks of 5. Now when you do so, the first 3 shots are going to be doing this drill, and you can see Piers demonstrating this now. He's really going to work hard at training the club face, rehearsing the movements, and when he hits these shots, what we're looking to do really is, if the ball's going a little bit with a curve to the left, if you're a right-handed golfer, that's absolutely fine. We really want to avoid hitting the golf ball out too far to the right, because we want to produce a good club face, a strong club face.
Definitely, and it's interesting on that shot there, I left that one out to the right. So what I'm going to do on this one, I may work a little bit harder, not get the toe up, and actually feel like I actually rotate the club even more through the hitting area, which will stop the golf ball going to the right.
Okay.
So one more of these. So the golf ball there goes pretty much dead
Much
straight
better.
with a little bit more rotation. Then I can go into some full shots.
So now what he's done the 3 training drills, the motion that we want to really rehearse. He's going to take that feeling now to some more full swings. So this is now, he's still got the feeling in his mind of what it's going to be like, and now he's going to put it into practice with some full shots. And a very nice first full shot there, Piers, to start with. But again, all the time, rehearsing these movements, having some practice swings, taking your time, focusing on quality. We don't want you just hitting golf ball after golf ball.
Yeah.
So we've got one more again, maybe rehearse it like Piers is doing now. Look, a nice practice swing, really good club face and arc on that. 2 beautiful shots, Piers. Maybe you should start practicing like this a bit more.
Maybe I can break 100 soon.
So look, there's your sort of first block of 5, and we want you to hit 40 golf balls, breaking it down like that, taking your time. It's not about really hitting lots of golf balls and hitting them fast. It's about quality and taking your time on that motion. So you've done your iron practice, you've got 10 golf balls left, and what we're going to use these 10 golf balls for is the driver. Now, with the driver, Piers, let's talk a little bit about the setup.
Yep.
Is there a change with the driver?
Well, the length of the club makes it different, but the way we approach it is exactly the same. Now I'm going to do this without my alignment stick on the ground. I'm going to give myself a chance of having a go without the help of that alignment stick. So standing tall, tip forward from the hips, keeping a neutral back, soften the legs, let my arms relax, and then if actually I've done a pretty good job there of guessing there, obviously done it a few times, but again, I'm looking for that balance. I'm looking for my arms hanging down in front of me. If anything with the driver, you may feel that the gap between the club and your legs is a little bit bigger than the iron may be a little bit closer. With the driver, it'd probably be a little bit further away. And of course, you'll be standing a bit taller because the club is longer.
Okay, so we will still want that same balance point again, still check it, work on it, use a mirror if you can do as well. But now we're going into the swings again. Now look, week 1, we want to really keep it very simple, and we want to make sure you're ingraining good habits and a good pattern. So we're really going to think about the same thing, aren't we?
Yep.
So we've got 10 balls with a driver. You're going to focus on 3 shots, doing these mini rehearsals or mini swings to here. Now, once you've done the 2, once you've done the 3, you're then going to hit 2 more 2 full swings, should I say.
Yep.
So Piers has just got 2 shots
Just
here.
going to hit 2. And I think the good thing with this, Andy, is that we are very much going to keep this simple throughout the 6 weeks. We're not thinking about changing your golf swing, a whole overhaul of your golf swing. It really is about attacking those key areas and making sure we can just tighten you up a little bit on the golf course.
So let's go with the first drill. We're going to just hit pieces just for the time. It's going to hit 1 short one and then 1 full one. But we're going to talk a little bit about something after as well.
Okay. A little bit push. So if I were to hit another one, I may rotate the face a little bit more. And then into the full shot. And I just think, you'll see this, that when I've hit all of these shots, every full shot that I have hit, I have done one of these before as a rehearsal.
Yeah,
I think that's very important.
Practice swings for you guys are really important if you can do that.
Massively.
Definitely more of a closure on that one, Piers. That was pretty good.
Not bad.
Yeah, pretty good shot. Okay, now look, Piers, before we sort of move on to the golf course, the guys are going to spend the time practicing on the range there.
Yes.
Do we have, let's say they've struggled to get the feeling, do we have a couple of drills that they can do without the golf club, even at home, that can sort of get the feeling of what the club and maybe the hands should be doing through the shot?
Yeah, I mean, look, let's focus on how the hands move. That's going to be your focal point. So we'll go to the trail hand first of all. So what we're looking for when we swing back is that obviously the body moves, but when the hand moves back, we can see that the forearm has rotated somewhat and that the palm is pointing on an angle out in front of me. It's not pointing out straight in front of me like so. It's pointing down ever so slightly at the ground. Now, as I go through, I want to get that hand and I want to point it directly behind me. So it's almost like I'm shaking hands with a target. So there you go, Andy, the target. So again, pointing down ever so slightly and then shaking hands with the target. Okay, so that gets that relationship we're talking about the opening and the closing. Now with a lead hand, it's pretty much the same. We sort of rotate back. If you had a watch on, it's pointing out in front of you. If you rotate through, again, we can see the watch is now pointing behind. But again, I may want to work a little bit on the way through, rotating a little bit more. It's not going to harm you. It may make the golf ball go a little bit to the left, but that is absolutely okay at this stage.
Definitely. And some of the common things that we see amongst golfers, if you go right hand for me, Piers, instead of this pointing behind, we often see that it faces more towards the sky, and this is going to make generally the ball go to the right. So training it and getting used to feeling what the hands are doing is so important for educating the club face as well and creating some consistency.
So when we used to work in the pro shops, when back in the day, we would be doing this every single day, moving the arms without a golf club, and it kind of worked a bit.
Yeah. Okay guys, so there is your week 1 range session. Now we're going to move to the golf course.
So before you tee off for the next 6 weeks, we're going to ask you to do 15 minutes of putting practice before you go out onto the golf course. Just 15 minutes, and that can make all the world of difference. So there's actually 2 different style of games that we're going to test you with, which is going to improve your technique and your ability to 2-putt, because that is what we are looking for. Imagine if all the putts you had were 2 putts on every hole, as opposed to the 3 putts that you get. Imagine you'd probably be breaking 100 right now. So the first thing we need to understand is the way to 2-putt is by having a good first putt, isn't it, Andy?
Yeah, we do. Look, we're inevitably going to knock the golf ball onto the green at some point, and we're going to be faced with some long putts. So if we can get the first putt close and make that second putt a lot easier, that is the key, and that's what we're going to really focus on over the next few weeks.
Okay, and not a lot of technique here. We'll talk a little bit about this, but it is literally with what you have, just fine-tuning and testing your skill. So what we've got here is we've got 5 golf balls laid out. We've got a golf club, a pace, so 3 feet past the hole. Now all of these 5 golf balls are 3 feet, 3 feet, 3 feet, 3 feet, all the way out to 15 feet. Now Andy, what I'm asking you to do is to start the game, and I'll describe the scoring.
Okay.
Now Andy's objective is to finish this game level par. Now if he leaves this golf ball short, or he hits the golf club, that is a 1 over, that is a bogey. So if he gets this one in the hole, which we kind of would expect Andy to get a lot of the time, he is now 1 under par. His overall total to get is level par, so 1 under is a good start, he's ahead of the clock. Now if his golf ball finishes anywhere, he's 2 under, anywhere between pin high, level with the hole, and short of the golf club, then that is a par. So a bogey for short and hitting the club, a birdie for holding it, or a par for a shot like that, which is in that zone. So he's 2 under, he cannot fail now, but I'm pretty sure he wants to stay 2 under. Now obviously the further away he goes, the harder it becomes. Now if we think of this from the game of golf, if he was playing, 2 in the hole is a real big bonus. These 2 here, he's probably not going to miss those. And this one here, even though it's a bogey, it was only going to go just a little bit past that, he could still well have holed that putt. But this is great for focusing you on the hole, but also in this area past the hole, which is great for 2-putting. So you've worked at the ladder drill. Now what we need to do is to finish the deal off by 2-putting. So random practice, 5 golf balls. Andy's going to have a go. He's going to hit 3 of these, and his objective is to 2-putt. He's not too far away. He's got different slopes to go through. His objective is to simply 2-putt, get the first ball as close to the hole as possible. Now in a putt like that, we'd probably give him that, but we're going to make him knock it in.
I'll tap that one in.
Get used to doing it. Getting really good, focusing and creating the circumstances you will get out on the golf course.
The important thing with this is keeping that score as well, Pierce. Making sure that they keep the score on each of these.
Yeah.
Pretty good one there, almost.
Yeah, I mean, I should be knocking that one away.
I'm going to tap that one in that way.
Now what we'll do is we'll talk about this more in week 2, about routines that you want to be doing. And he's going through these pretty quickly so he can just show you the sort of range of putting we've got. He's had 2 putts. Can he get a birdie? But that's okay. That's
3 pars, I'd take that,
pars.
Pierce. 3 2-putts, which is the objective there.
So obviously from that now, you need to do that 5 times. That's all we need you to do. And all we need to do is just to get on this short range here. Don't worry about going too far away. Obviously don't get it too close and make it too easy. Just have you a good sort of 15 feet around the hole.
Write that score down.
Now you may be aware by now that you can chip with multiple different golf clubs when you're playing your short shots. But what we want to do is make it very simple for the amount of time that you have to practice these short shots, and just go to 2 clubs. So you're going to pick 2 clubs, one for a higher, softer landing chip and one for a lower running chip. So Andy, what clubs have you got first of all here?
Well look, I've got an 8-iron and I've got a 58-degree wedge here. And the reason we want you to stick with 2 clubs, one for the high and one for the low, is just so you get used to how the ball reacts to the face, how much air time it has, how much it's going to roll, and the more you use it, the more easier it is, Piers, to judge the distance when you've got, you know, a chip and run at various distances as well from around the green. And I think if you can stick to a high one and a low one, you are going to be much more consistent at getting it close.
Yeah, it's great to have the versatility of all the clubs, but it's the amount of time that you've actually got to practice that versatility.
Find your favourites almost, find your favourite clubs.
Okay, so we're going to go with a low running one because you've got it in your hands already. So 8 iron.
8 iron, I mean, it's going to go very low, this is.
It is.
I mean, I really need to land this very close to me, just on the front of the green here, and it's hardly going to go any sort of height at all. It's just going to get rolling very quickly.
So you're just putting it into motion, almost landing it onto the putting surface in front of you. That's always the best, most preferable place to land the golf ball as well, landing on the putting surface so you get the most consistent bounce. So
it is.
Anything in the technique, a very simple thought on the technique?
Yeah, well look, as you can see by my setup and stance is a little different. The feet are close together. I'm gripping down the golf club and a little bit closer to the ball as well. But from here, we really want to keep the wrists very passive. So I'm standing my setup here. My shaft is leaning slightly forward. And all I'm going to do from here is use my arms and shoulders to rock it back. And I'm not really changing too much with those wrist angles. Very light grip pressure. I'm allowing a little bit of a brush at the ground. So I'm not getting any unwanted club head movement like this. I'm really keeping everything passive and just letting the arms and shoulders control the movement bit.
Okay, let's see you hit one. It looks to me very much as though you're controlling it with your chest, your upper body when you do this. Okay, you can see very low there. It's running out. You can see it's pretty fast down there, but it's great to have that low running option, isn't it?
It is, yeah, definitely. You can see hardly any height on that at all.
Okay, perfect. Right now, the 58, very different story now.
Yep.
Higher flight.
Definitely. Now, in this situation, look, I don't really need the height.
No.
But if I'm in a situation, maybe I need to get over a bunker, out of some rough, a little bit further away, that's when I would definitely go to this. But really, we're in the same situation, really, Piers, just to show the difference in terms of where the ball's going to land. And you'll get used to seeing how high it's going to go and how quickly it's going to stop as well.
Yeah, if you bear in mind exactly how that one flew before, and you'll see a big difference on this one.
So my swing now will go slightly longer because I've got more loft, the ball's going to go higher, but I'm really going with the same technique. The technique is exactly the same. The only thing I'm changing is really the length of the swing here. So let's play the shot. Very similar, but I'm just going to land this a little further up on the green.
Yeah, a lot higher. You can see it's going to stop a lot quicker. Yeah.
Fast greens here, Piers, aren't they?
They're very fast greens, aren't they? But I think, look, the good thing with this is you have got something, we spoke very much about keeping everything the same. You know, the club changes, but the technique and the thought process throughout is exactly the same.
Exactly. And if you can just stick to those two clubs, you're going to find your chipping is going to get a lot closer. So on your journey to breaking 100, your friends are more than likely going to want to offer your advice. Now look, we've put this plan together. It took us a while and we've put a lot of time and effort into this plan. And if you stick to this plan and follow it, you will break 100. Now, as good as your friends might sort of want to help you, a lot of the stuff that they could tell you could be harmful, Piers. And this is something that we have to deal with, you know, on a regular basis when clients have come to us and they've been told certain things by their friends. And it's sometimes harmful, isn't it?
It is. Look, I mean, imagine the situation. You're playing golf with 3 of your friends and then you hit 3 bad shots and each one of them tells you something different. You know, straight away you can be very much messed up on the golf course and then they can give you the wrong concept we've already spoken about. So I think the important thing is obviously you're committing to this program. So let's get you to commit to what we tell you and maybe use your friends to help back that up. So if you want to say, how's my posture looking, Dave? And then they can say, yeah, it's great, it's exactly as they told you to do it. I think that's the way to use that, but taking information from them, it may work for them, but for you, let's just keep focusing on the program.
Yes, I think be careful what you listen to, like you say, commit to this program, and we will definitely help you break that 100. So if you have any questions on the coaching plan, please leave them down below. And to see week 2, click the link in the corner and we will see you there.